Yeah, good
Sir.
morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. All of you join fast. We will start the class from what we have been in the previous class. We are discussing. Can you all see the material now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we will start with that. So all of you have been discussing in the previous class. We have been discussing in the process of third module, and we have started with microstrip, completed some problems, then completed the losses in microstrip, then followed by the quality factor Q of a microstrip line, and we have seen all those equations relevant to that. Then we moved on to the next topic, that is parallel strip lines. So we also seen that parallel strip lines, for just introduction, we have to yet go in depth. So parallel strip lines, what we have understood is it is perfectly two perfectly parallel strips made of copper separated by a dielectric slab of uniform thickness is there. So that is what you have seen in the figure. So the thickness is D, and that is the dielectric space which is there between the two parallel copper strip conductors. The strip conductors is having a width of W, and they are having a thickness of T, you can say, and separated by a distance of D, and which is having the dielectric material in between. So you can just visualize that things, two parallel strips. You can take two scales together, and in between this that you can see that some dielectric material is being filled in between those two things. So it will look something like a parallel strip line. So where the distance of the means D is the amount of dielectric substrate being present between the two strips, and the complete width of the strip is taken as W, because all these parameters we are going to use it in the equations for the calculation. So we need to know all these things. So I think all of you might have completed this diagram as well in the previous class. All of you have drawn this diagram. Have you all completed the diagram? See, respond. Have you completed the diagram in the previous class?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we will continue further and see that what are the equations related to that. So we have seen that a parallel strip line is similar to a two conductor transmission line. And since one more thing we have discussed here, you can see in this figure, you have the dielectric material being placed here. So you can see that the dielectric material is available in this space, and here it's all dielectric material. And and the strip is having a width of W, and you will be separated by the dielectric at the down, and you here it will be like free space, or it is air is the surface there. So what you can see here is, due to the dielectric as well as air, you have both. So when you have the magnetic and electric fields, like you have studied in the previous microstrip line, in parallel strip lines also, the electric field and magnetic field will be surrounding to the strip, and it will be between the dielectric material as well as in the air. So we call that wave propagation as quasi-TEM mode of operation. So quasi-transverse electric and magnetic mode of operation, and which is considered as TEM mode of wave. So one more thing we have seen, this propagating of TEM wave takes place in the Z direction. It is mentioned in the figure, and in a lossless strip. So lossless strip is R is equal to G is equal to 0, and the electric field which we consider, it will be in the Y direction, and the magnetic field will be in the X direction. So if the W is greater than D, the fringe capacitance, one of the capacitance gets generated, that is called as fringing capacitance, and becomes negligibly small if W is greater than D. So you have to keep this W too much high compared to the dielectric material what is placed between the two conductors. Then the fringing capacitance can be small. So these are few more points which we need to add on to this, and then we will be going with the equations to how to calculate the inductance, capacitance, and all for this parallel strip line, and we will be solving few numericals as well. So you can just note down this part, and then we will move on to the equations. And one more thing I want to say is quizzes and assignments are given for you. So you need to complete it within the time. So further next week we'll be having another set of assignments. So don't keep anything pending. So all of you just note down these things. So here one equation you can see that the equation is to find out the inductance of the parallel strip line, and the inductance can be calculated for a parallel strip line using the equation L is equal to mu C D divided by W, where mu C is the permeability of the conductor, and its unit will be Henry per meter. So this is the equation to find out the inductance. So we'll be seeing the equations to find out the capacitance, all those things further. So here you can just see that we have the equation to find out the inductance of the parallel strip line. It is mu C D by W. W, you know that the width of the conductor, mu C is the permeability, and D, you know that the distance between the strips filled with dielectric. So all of you complete it till here, then we'll move on with the further equations. So all of you have completed the equation for inductance. Shall we move further?
Yes.
So all of you write down this equation. So here we'll be studying almost 3 to 4 equations here. So the first equation is to find out the inductance, and you'll get the problems also for the parallel strip line. Mu is there, D is this much, and W is so much. So find the inductance, capacitance, and all those things. So you may have to use all these equations. So you need to study these equations for parallel strip line. L is equal to, or that is inductance, mu C D by W. See, all of you have completed, then we will move on further. So the next thing what we will be studying here is the capacitance of a parallel strip line, and to calculate the capacitance of a parallel strip line, we use the equation epsilon d W by d. So epsilon d is called as the permeability of the dielectric slab, and the W and d, you know, it is the width and the distance of the dielectric. So capacitance can be calculated by epsilon d W by epsilon d W by d. It's epsilon suffix d. So epsilon d is the permittivity of the dielectric slab. Once you calculate the capacitance, you also have the calculations to find out the series resistance for the strips. So that is given by the equation R is equal to 2Rs by W. So this R equation for Rs you have already written before. Rs is root of pi f mu c by sigma. So you can substitute that Rs here. So R will be 2 by W root of pi f mu c by sigma. Rs is called as the surface resistance. Sigma is called as the conductivity of the strip in mho meter. So you can note down these equations to calculate the capacitance as well as the resistance. Then one more equation is there, that is for the shunt conductance. We'll see that. So all the four equations you need to remember. Sometimes they ask to explain parallel strip lines and its relevant equations, or they give a problem and ask you to find out the capacitance, resistance, and conductance, all those things, inductance for this parallel strip line. So that's how the question comes for this topic. So as you can see, the one more equation, that is to find out the shunt conductance, can be written using this equation. G is equal to sigma W by D. And sigma D is the conductivity of the dielectric material. So all of you can complete it. These are the four equations required. So we have studied the equations for inductance, capacitance, resistance, as well as shunt conductance. So the surface resistance, already you have studied the equation for Rs in the previous derivation. Rs is root of pi f mu c by sigma. So we have substituted Rs here. So R will be 2 Rs by W, or 2 by W root of pi f mu c by sigma. So all of you have completed the equation till G, conductance.
Yes, sir.
Have you completed?
Yes.
Okay. So so write down all these things. So sigma is the conductivity of the dielectric between the two strips. So once you complete all these equations, we'll come back to these equations in the problems, where we will be substituting the values for W, D, and the sigma, Rs, all these things we'll be finding out, and we'll be finding out all these values for resistance, conductance, inductance, and capacitance. So we just once that is over, we'll just focus upon the characteristic impedance of a parallel strip line. So let us write down the characteristic impedance Z0. So we will see how the characteristic impedance Z0 for a parallel strip line. So we have already studied the characteristic impedance Z0 of a micro strip line. So here we have already discussed before that we are going to take a wide strip here. So W is always greater than D. So why it is greater than D also we have already explained in the just before. Now I have told you that W should be greater than D, then the fringing capacitance becomes negligibly small. So that is the reason we take W to be greater than D, and we consider that it is a wide microstrip line. So when we consider it as a wide microstrip line, you know the characteristic impedance Z0 can be calculated by using the equation root of L by C, or it can also be taken as 377 by root of epsilon RD and D by W. So this is the equation what you have for characteristic impedance Z0 for a condition for W greater than D. So along with this, we will have some few more things here. That is the phase velocity. The phase velocity is denoted by Vp, and this equation for phase velocity. So like equation for Z0 root by LC we have studied in first module, and 377 by root of epsilon RDD by W we have studied in this module as well. So it's just written the same equations there. These are the equations which is used for the parallel strip line as well to find out the characteristic impedance of a lossless parallel strip line. This is very important. We are going for a lossless parallel strip line. So now the next one is phase velocity, and the phase velocity can be also written for a parallel strip line. This also we have already studied these equations in the module 1, where we have written the phase velocity as omega by beta, or it is also can be written as 1 by root of LC. So this equation is the same equation what you studied in the module 1. So 1 by root LC can also, it is also same as that of 1 by root of mu C epsilon D, and for mu C is equal to mu naught. So we are considering mu naught and mu C is same, and Vp can also be written as C by root of epsilon RD. So Vp is having all these different type of equations to calculate. If you are knowing L and C, you can use this equation 1 by root LC. If you know C and root of epsilon RD, you can use this equation C by epsilon RD. So Vp can be written as omega by beta, that is 1 by root of LC, 1 by root of mu C epsilon D, as well as C by root of epsilon RD. So any of the equations you can use as per the requirement. What are parameters given for you? Based on that, you can select the equation. So further on, we'll discuss upon the attenuation losses. So you can just complete these two equations, that is the characteristic impedance as well as the how to find out the phase velocity of a parallel strip line, that is lossless parallel strip line. Once you complete it, we'll study about attenuation losses. You know that attenuation is denoted by alpha. So we are using these equations, whatever we have studied till date. I have not written even a single equation new here. Either we have studied in module 1 or module 3, all these equations. So complete it, then we will move on to the attenuation losses. So as I have told you, just take one sheet of paper and write down the equations which is relevant to you for that module. So it will be easy for you to understand those things, and just without missing any terms, you can complete it for the examinations as well. So have you all completed that? See, if you have completed, we will move on further. So just respond to me. Have you completed this, or you are still in the process?
Completed, sir.
Okay. So we will now discuss upon the attenuation losses. So the same equations, whatever you studied in module 1, I have written it here for attenuation losses. So for attenuation losses, we have the propagation constant of a parallel strip line at microwave frequency is denoted as gamma. So this is the equation which you can see, that is gamma is equal to root of same equation, root of r plus j omega l into g plus j omega c, the same equation what we studied in module 1. And for r less than omega l and g less than omega c, we know that gamma can be written as 1 by 2 into r root of c by l plus g root of l by c plus j omega root lc. So we have also studied the equation for gamma as alpha plus j beta. So gamma is also written as alpha plus j beta. So from this, all this, we can write the equation for alpha and we can write the equation for beta. It's all the same equations what we studied in the module 1. I have not written even a single equation extra here. So the attenuation losses can be calculated using the equation 1 by 2 r root of c by l plus g root of l by c. Its unit will be nepers per meter, and beta is omega root of lc. So all the same equations are written here in order to find out the attenuation losses. So when the conditions are satisfied, that is r is less than omega l and g is less than omega c, so you can get the equations for alpha and beta, and you know that gamma is also a combination of alpha and j beta. So alpha you will get it as 1 by 2 r root of c by l plus g root of l by c, and beta is omega root of lc. So it's radians per meter. So note down the same equations. What you can see that all these equations you have studied in module 1, and the same equations are being used here to find out the propagation constant of a parallel strip line at microwave frequency. So all of you have completed these equations.
Yes.
Yeah, so we have one more equation here, attenuation constant, that is for the conductor and dielectric losses alpha C. Alpha C is written as 1 by 2 r of root of C by L. So you can see it is the same of alpha. So alpha is 1 by 2 r of root of c by l plus g root of l by c. So we are just going to split it as 2. So the attenuation constant for the conductor and the dielectric losses. So we'll have two equations here. Alpha is combination of the conductor and the dielectric losses. So we will just split the equation. So you can see that alpha is 1 by 2 r root of c by l plus g root of l by c. So I have just taken alpha c as this combination. So the other one more equation we will write for by taking the other part. So all of you have completed this, then we will move on to the other part. Is that over? So all of you have completed. Is there any doubts for you? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we will just continue further. So we got equations for alpha and beta. You also got the equation for gamma. You have equation for alpha c as well. So by further on, we will see for a parallel strip line. Uh, so substituting whatever you have found. So 1 second, you can see that in the parallel strip line, if you see, you have equation for C, equation for R, equation for G, as well as equation for L. So we are going to substitute R, L, and C in the equation for alpha C. So whatever you studied in parallel strip lines R, L, and C, you substitute for alpha C. What is alpha C? It is 1 by 2 root of 1 by 2 R root of C by L. So R is there in the equation above. C is also available in the equation above, and L is also available. So you can substitute all these things in this equation and write it. So when you substitute all the values here, you get in this form. So that is alpha c is equal to 1 by 2. Substituting r, you will get 2 by w root of f mu c by sigma, and substituting l and c, you will get it as omega epsilon d omega by d and omega by root of mu c d. So this is same as 1 by d. You do the simplification. It is same as 1 by d pi f epsilon d root of pi f epsilon d by sigma c. So the final equation for alpha c, if you are asked to find out the alpha c, you have to use the equation 1 by d root of pi f epsilon d by sigma. Or you can use this equation. You can use the same equation 1 by 2 r root of c by l. You may have to find r separate, c and l separate, and substitute. You can find alpha c. Both will be the same answer. So alpha c will be 1 by d root of pi f epsilon d by sigma c. Similarly, alpha d, which you have here, the next part of the equation, that is alpha is equal to this combination plus this. So alpha d, that is for the dielectric losses. Alpha c is for the conductor losses. Alpha d, you will get it as 1 by 2 g root of L by c. So that is what you can say. Alpha d is g by 2 root of L by c. Same method, substitute G, C, and L from the equations above, and you need to simplify it further. So when you substitute G, C and L from the equations, you will get it as alpha D is equal to 1 by 2 sigma D W by D root of mu C D by W D by epsilon D W. So you'll get finally, when you simplify it, you'll get it as 1 by 2 sigma D root of mu C by epsilon D, or you can also write it as sigma D by 2 377 divided by root of epsilon R D. So alpha D can be written as an approximate equation by just simplifying it. All these things, alpha D can be written as 188 into sigma D divided by root of epsilon RD. So if you are asked to find out the conductor losses, and then you have to use alpha C, that is 1 by D root of pi f mu epsilon D by sigma C. And if you are asked to find out the dielectric losses, you have to use alpha D is equal to 188 sigma D by epsilon RD. So all of you will get that equations. Is there any doubt for you, any of you? Is that clear? So we have found out all these equations. Is that all equations clear for you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So if everything is clear for you, we will use all these equations in order to simplify the problems, and we will substitute the values of all the parameters what is relevant to that, and we will be simplifying the process further. So that's the thing what you have to understand, and now we will just proceed further with the simplification process. So all of you completed. I think all of you might have completed. Just we'll solve now the problem based on all these equations. So you can note down this problem. A lossless parallel strip line has conducting strip of width W. The substrate dielectric separating the two conducting strips has a relative dielectric constant epsilon RD of 6. So epsilon RD is given as 6. Strip width is W, and the thickness D of 4 mm. Calculate the required width W of the conducting strip in order to have a characteristic impedance of 50 ohm. The required width W for the strip in order to have a characteristic impedance of 50 ohm, and also you need to calculate the strip line capacitance. Also, you need to calculate strip line inductance. You also have to calculate the phase velocity of the wave in parallel strip line. So all the equations, whatever you have studied, you have to use these equations, and you have to substitute the values there and simplify the to get the answer. So you can try those equations, and then we will see whether the answers you are getting the same answer. So all of you note down that question and try to simplify it. We will do the simplification of that further. So try using the equations, and you can see that how you to find out the capacitance, inductance, as well as the width W. All those things you need to find. So you are given with the characteristic impedance is given for you 50. So you can think which are the equations to be used in order to find out the width W of the strip of which we have the relative dielectric as 6 is given, thickness is given as 4 mm. So you need to first calculate W. So to find W, you have to use the equation. So you have this equation here. I will go back to the equation and just show you where the equation is available. It's available here. That is Z0 is equal to 377 root of epsilon RD d by W. So W can be written as 377 root of epsilon RD d by Z0. So that is what equation we have to use here, and find out the value of W. Once you find out the value of W, then rest of the things are straightforward equations for the capacitance, inductance, and phase velocity. You can substitute the values and simplify it further. So all of you can substitute the values, and you can just check it out whether you are getting the answers for those things. So first one is W. You use the equation 377 divided by root of epsilon RD d by W. D is 4 into 10 to the power of minus 3. It's 4 mm, and epsilon RD is 6 is given. Substitute. All of you can find out the value whether it is 12.31 into 10 to the power of minus 3 meter. So all of you have completed W. You got this value 12.31 into 10 to the power of minus 3 meter.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, sir. Any other values you have calculated? Whether you could get the value for capacitance, use the equation and try. If you get it, just let me know that. Anyone of you got the value for capacitance?
Sir, it is 18 point.
18.465. What's the unit? Okay, we'll see that. Use the equation C is equal to epsilon D W by D. You'll get 8.854 into 10 to the power of minus 12 into 6 into 12.31 into 10 to the power of minus 3. See here it is epsilon d. So you have to use epsilon naught into that. So epsilon rd. So you'll be getting like this. So you'll get 163.5 picofarad per meter. Anyhow, you have made an attempt. Good. So C is equal to 163.5 picofarad is what you're going to get per meter. So the next next is inductance. So you should know that you will get it as 163.5 picofarad per meter. You're getting it 163.5. Mu c also you need to write it as mu naught into mu r. So you will get it as further. You try that. So C you completed as 163.5. All of you are getting it 163.5. See 8.85 into 10 to the power of minus 12. You know that you have studied these values before as well. You know these values. So you need to substitute that and simplify. Have you all got this answer 163? Anyone got answer for inductance?
Yeah.
Okay. Inductance?
Doing, sir.
Okay. Use mu naught as well. I think you all know the value for that 4 pi into 10 to the power of minus 7. What is the answer for that inductance? See, you can say the answer. Doesn't matter if it is correct or wrong. What is the answer for inductance? Yeah, one of you can say the answer for inductance. Annapurna, have you completed?
No, sir.
Okay, completed. So any one of you have completed that inductance value? So what is the answer for that? By this time you should have completed that.
Four into 10 per Henry per meter.
4 into 10. You might have got the same. 0.41 microhenry per meter. Same. So it is L is equal to means L is equal to mu C d by W 4 pi into 10 to the power of minus 7 into 4 into 10 to the power of minus 3 divided by 12.31 into 10 to the power of minus 3. You have to use this value for W, which you have found out in first one. So you'll get 0.41 microhenry per meter. Now it's only left out to find out the phase velocity, and phase velocity is very easy. The equation is C by root of epsilon RD. So you can substitute the values for that. C is 3 into 10 to the power of 8. Epsilon RD is 6. So root of 6 you will get. So you can see that whether you are getting 1.22 into 10 to the power of 8 meter per second. So all of you complete the problem there. We will solve the subsequent problems in the next class. So we will stop it here for today. So thanks to all. You complete the problem and then you can leave the meeting. Okay. Thank you.